Good morning, distinguished guests, graduates, family and friends. Welcome to Bond University's graduation. Please take time to note the nearest exit to you. They are located in each corner of the theatre. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please follow the directions of university staff. As today is a very special occasion for each of the graduates, please turn your devices to silent and remain seated during the duration of the ceremony. A live stream of this ceremony is also available from Bond University's graduation website and YouTube channel. Graduates, I'll now take you through the protocols for the presentation of awards. When directed by staff, please proceed in your order of seating and line up along the stairs to my right. When your name is read out, please proceed across the stage to receive your testama and then across to the far side of the stage to have your photo taken with the Chancellor. Once your photo has been taken, please proceed up the middle aisle to my left, around the rear of the theatre, and you'll be directed back to your seat. The formal proceedings will commence shortly, but first, please enjoy a short presentation celebrating 30 years of Bond University.
Today, as of this moment, vision has become reality. The way is now ahead. From sandstone and a strong, unwavering vision, an institution was built to offer a student experience without peer. A university created to redefine the landscape, setting new heights for global education. In our first 30 years, almost 30,000 alumni have passed through our doors.
All our graduates, please stand. Be successful, have great careers, and never forget Bond University.
With an unbreakable bond to the international networks and experiences that position them for success. Together, we have built a legacy. A legacy that continues to evolve today.
Bond University will take its place among the great universities.
As we strive for and reach new horizons in personalized learning, we continue to deliver a truly remarkable global student experience.
To my fellow graduates, thank you for your friendship. Please cherish the memories and friends, but continue making new ones. Goodbye and good luck.
Since 1989, Bond University has forged the way in law, business, society and design, health sciences and medicine, and sport. Led by great minds.
Bond University will become a magnificent jewel in the crown of Australian tertiary education.
With an even greater vision for the next 30 years and beyond. It's because of those who came before us that our future is limitless.
Would everyone please stand for the academic procession?
Please be seated. Chancellor, graduates, family and friends of the graduates, university colleagues, welcome to this graduation celebration for students who have recently completed their studies at Bond. Before we start the proceedings, please join me in thanking our Piper, Bond alumnus, Pipe Major Nick Tompkins. On behalf of the university community and on behalf of each of us, I acknowledge the people of the Yugambeh language group on whose ancestral lands our university now stands. I pay my respects to their leaders, past, present and emerging, and I do so in a spirit of reconciliation. Here at the university, we acknowledge that graduation is a liminal event in the life of a student, and as a result, we are delighted that we are able to offer each graduate that is able to attend and their family and friends the opportunity to participate in this ceremony that publicly marks the significant milestone of graduation. Notwithstanding that COVID rules change almost daily, we at the university are pleased to see that so many of you are present this morning. Each graduate here today will be presented to the Chancellor and have their photograph taken with her. Ladies and gentlemen, this room in which we are gathered is the university's largest lecture theatre. It was named the Basil Sellers Theatre in honour of and in recognition of Basil Sellers AM, a major philanthropist, who has had a successful business career as well as being an accomplished sportsman. Dr. Sellers is a significant benefactor of many organisations both in Australia and abroad. It is now my great honour to introduce the university's 8th Chancellor, who will preside at the ceremony this morning, the Honourable Dr. Annabel Bennett, ACSC FAA.
Thanks for giving me this little step that I can stand on so I can see you. For those of you who are going to go to the bar, I can tell you that if you are vertically challenged as I am, you can ask them to provide you with an upturned file drawer, which they had lined in carpet for me so that I could see over the lectern. Graduates, because it's right and proper that you should be the first one to be welcome because you're the reason we're all here today. Bond colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I never say distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, because I always think that that's terribly, it categorises people really badly, and whenever I hear it, I know I belong in the latter category, so I think it's really rather offensive myself, but there you go. But look, welcome to you all. The first thing is if there are any young people present and they don't sit still or they make a noise, please do not take them outside. They are very, very welcome, and we all love having them here, and from Bond's perspective, it's a wonderful marketing opportunity to make sure they come to Bond in the future. But listen, this is so good. I mean, I should say that I wouldn't say this to all the other faculties. When I was sworn into the Federal Court, the first thing I said was, well, how good is this? And I should say the same for you. How good is this? How wonderful for us all to be here today at this time to be able to celebrate this important day. It really is an important day, one never to be forgotten in your road to the future, because you took this opportunity. If you don't take it, the chance to have a graduation, you can't get it back later. You know, you can't at the age of 40 say, I wish I'd had a 21st. You know, this is the moment, this is it. Some of you will have other degrees, some of you have got double degrees, but that wonderful opportunity to be here and to have the pride in your family and friends in you is something not to be missed. So we're really glad you're here. But of course, we're only here because of what I will call the iron determination of our Vice-Chancellor. Last year we managed to get in one set of graduations. We were the only university, I think, in the country that had an in-person graduation since COVID. And it's not been easy, and of course there's been the news changes, as we know, daily as to who's able to get to them, but it has been a wonderful opportunity to have it, and we're very, very grateful to all of the university staff who've worked so hard to make this possible, actually. So just on behalf of the graduands and all the family and friends, I extend thanks to them. So we're also live streaming today's ceremony. I'm aware that we have a number of fellow graduates watching from various overseas and interstate locations. Welcome to you all, and please stay on mute. COVID has had an enormous impact on all of our lives. I mean, that's so trite. I mean, saying it is almost ridiculous because we all know how it's happened and where we've been, and everyone's had their own separate journey. And I think it's been especially hard for various people at various stages. I think anyone who started in kindergarten, had a problem. Anybody who started in a new school in the first year of high school, I felt sorry for them. I also felt a great deal of sympathy for people in year 12 because they did not get that rite of passage. I mean, not only did they have the whole of their final year exams sort of, put in sort of questionable areas, but they didn't get all those fabulous parties and formals and all the good things that go with finishing school. And then I think it's been really hard for people starting at university or trying to continue at university. The uncertainty, overseas students not coming, having to change the way you're taught, having to receive it, having to work in different ways, but still face exams and assessments and having to get through that. And I've been really interested in hearing how it has been a really fantastic exercise, both from the staff who've had to adapt to the teaching styles, but from the students as well who've worked with the staff to make those teaching styles a success. Now, how lucky are we at Bond that our class sizes are such that we have almost one-on-one. I mean, I've passed a couple of, teaching rooms where I've seen 3 people in the room. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. But, we've been able to do it. We've been able to do it through technology. We've been able to do it, but it's through the people who've made it work and to the students who've made it work. So congratulations, because it's not been easy. And thank you for working with us to go ahead. And of course, this will change the way things happen in the future. So you have been the forerunners. It's always nice to feel as if you're a guinea pig. Well, you've been fantastic guinea pigs, even though you're not in science, although some of you may have done science as well. But, it's interesting. Despite all of that, during my time at Bond, I've learnt one thing. First, we all know, once a Bondie, always a Bondie. And that's because what I find is wherever I go into a room, I wasn't fortunate to be here at Bond, and myself, but whenever I go as a student, when I go into a room and I mention that I'm the Chancellor at Bond, there are instant smiles in the room. And I find myself, when everyone mentions Bond University, somehow I smile because it's just such a wonderful, it's a place of joy. And so to those of you who have sacrificed and supported to send your special person here as a student at Bond, thank you. And as a parent who has done the same for one of my children, let me tell you, it's worth everything that you've done for them. I'm sure that if you ask these wonderful people on this side and at the back there, they will confirm what I've said. Because there are unique elements that are embedded in Bond's DNA, and it's because it's student-focused. When I was first asked to be the Chancellor, I had a meeting with the Vice-Chancellor. I think he was checking me out as to whether I could, cut the mustard. And I said to him, so tell me about Bond. What should I know? I mean, I've had a daughter go through, but I've been on another university council and I've been to university, but what should I know about Bond? He said, well, you have to know this about Bond. We have 3 priorities at this university. Our first priority is the students. Our second priority is the students. And if logic dictates, our third priority is the students. And it's true. It's actually true. I mean, it really, you see it when you're in the university, that's the way it is. And that's why we can have this wonderful moment today to watch these young people walk across and actually receive their testama, because there's always a little light on in each of them as they get to the end. It's like someone's put a little buttercup under their chin and lit them up because it's such a fantastic moment. I'm only going to warn you one thing now, though. When I go over there and you come across the stage for me, there are 2 crosses. I will stand on one and you will stand on the other. Now, I'm from Sydney. We are far more paranoid than you've been up here on the Gold Coast. Do not edge forward, right? But, at the conclusion of this ceremony, today's ceremonies, Bond will have had over 30,000 alumni. Who would have thought that? Over 32 years, and there are more than 30,000 Bondies all over the planet. That's actually quite scary, because the partying must be amazing. But there's always a Bondie doing some good, helping someone and contributing something to greater society. And we're very proud of that. So it's your opportunity to keep that connection going. Join up with the alumni. If you go to a place where there are lots of Bondies, join in. If you're going to be in a place where there aren't many Bondies, start your own network. Keep in contact. Don't forget to come back, and don't forget to make sure you keep in part of that whole alumni network. Now, our graduates, I'm going to share some data. We always like data, don't we? Big data, small data. Our graduates range in age from 19 to 80. There are 15 Indigenous graduates as part of this graduating cohort of these yesterday and today. The top 5 countries of birth for graduates are Australia, China, Canada, Japan and India. There are 22 graduates graduating with a unique country of origin. The most popular programs for the cohort for this graduation season are the Graduate Diploma in Legal Practice, Bachelor of Laws, Bachelor of Biomedical Science, Juris Doctor, and the Master of Construction Practice Professional. So if you think those numbers are small, please recall that one of our most cherished differentiating factors is our small class sizes, as I've already said. So after the ceremony, please do visit the Alumni Centre on your way to Don's Tavern to receive a graduation gift from the merchandise store and to grab a photo in the Alumni Centre. We're very proud of it, actually, and we expect you to put it to good use. So graduates, you should be immensely proud of your achievements. We're proud of you, and you should be really proud of yourselves because you've really, you've done it. And that's pretty good. Another stage of life to go. But you should also recognise that the achievements would not have been possible without support. So you've all got someone here today probably, and they're really important to you. But there have been a limited number of people who can be here, both because they couldn't get here and because we couldn't fit them in. And those people would like to hear a thank you from you as well. So that device you've got that you use 24/7, that tells you how many hours of screen time you've had each week, and it goes up and up and up. It's got all sorts of functions, and as well as the messaging function and the Instagram and the social media generally, it's got a phone. And if you ring a person, they actually get to hear your voice and talk back to you. It's an amazing thing, really. It's a two-way street. It's called communication. So take the time to ring those extra special people in your lives and talk to them and thank them for what they've done for you. Now, that doesn't mean you don't get thanks here today. That's also true. So just want to say one thing about law. I wasn't going to do this, but the one thing about graduating with a law degree or any sort of expertise in law is that it opens the door to so many things. Don't forget to grab the opportunities when they come. You're going to be frantically busy, but when someone says, do you want to go on X or do you want to do X? Say yes. If it ends up being too hard for you, you can always back out later gracefully, but don't say no. And I'm saying this from my own experience, and I don't usually, this is not about me, it's about you, but the big advantage for me is that I have said yes to things all the way through my law degree. I did science first for 8 years and people told me that was a waste of time when I went into law, and it wasn't, because I had another interest and another qualification. And then I said yes to sitting on park boards and hospital boards and all these other things that I could do. And each one gave me a different skill set that then came back in my practice. And I had that extra thing. So do it because you'll get to benefit the community. Do non-for-profits, do whatever you can do, because each one of those things will add to your professional skill. And that is really valuable because that then makes you unique. And of course, we all know you can't be very unique or almost unique. You can be unique. So if you do all those different things that come up, you'll get those chances. So you each have a copy of the program, and you can follow the list of graduates. I trust that you enjoy the ceremony and you respect and acknowledge each and every one of our graduates and take away your very special moment. Now, back to the parents and the families. I actually can share your sense of pride, and this is rather a special moment for another reason. I had a daughter who graduated, funnily enough, in law. I had 2 daughters who graduated in law, but one graduated in law and international relations from here at Bond. And I sat in the audience, it wasn't in this theatre, I sat in the audience and I wasn't sure it was going to happen. I was terrified that, like in one of those movies with the church service and someone says, speak now or forever hold your peace, and someone stands up and says no. I had this fear that as my daughter was standing at the edge, someone was going to say, we made a mistake. Not that one. Because they're not graduates until the magic words are spoken. So just hold your breath a little longer, because although I get many tasks to perform as Chancellor of this university, nothing is as good as presiding at a graduation ceremony. So although the graduates have been formally conferred with their degrees in absentia, it's nothing like doing it in persona. And I'm going to read it, not because I'm incapable of remembering one sentence, although when you do admission ceremonies, you'll see all those experienced lawyers will read it, even though it's only one sentence. Why? Because I've learnt and I'm going to say this because this is especially pertinent for lawyers. Chief Justice Roberts, do you know the story about President Obama swearing in? Okay, so Chief Justice Roberts, who was so fabulous, I mean, he was Chief Justice of the United States, anyone can remember one sentence. So he said the words to swear in President Obama, but he got the words wrong. He missed something out or said words round the wrong way or something, but it wasn't precisely as it was in the Constitution. So the constitutional lawyers do what they do and said, we're not sure he's been properly sworn in as President of the United States because the words are written in the Constitution. If he hasn't said those words, he mightn't be the President. So they had to go out the back into another room and do it again to make sure he got it right. And I don't know if any of you watched the swearing in of President Biden, but Chief Justice Roberts read it, word for word. So, graduates, please stand. With the authority of counsel, I hereby admit you to the awards for which you have qualified. I also admit those who have qualified for their degrees who are unable to be present today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the moment of graduation. It's now certain. Please join with me in congratulating the latest cohort of graduates of Bond University. We will now move to the formal presentation of testamers, and I look forward to the presentation of each individual graduate.
Thank you, Chancellor. Before I formally present the graduates, I'd like to remind you of the procedure that we will follow compliant with COVID-safe protocols. So graduates, please remember not to shake hands with the Chancellor, unfortunately. Members of the audience, please remain in your seats during the ceremony at all times. Chancellor, the following candidate is presented for the award of Research Doctorate for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Fei-Yu Li. The title of Fei-Yu's thesis is Promoting the Normativity of International Climate Change Law in China, an Interactional Account. I'll read out the description because the amount of work that has been put into this thesis, it at least deserves some acknowledgement. Climate change has become one of the biggest common concerns of international communities, and it can only be resolved with the collective actions of all countries worldwide. Being the second largest economy and the largest greenhouse gas emitter, China is expected to play an important role in international climate governance. This thesis investigated the normative role of international climate change law in China and the contributions of China to the normativity of international climate change law. This thesis found that China's domestic context fundamentally influenced its attitudes towards international climate change law. With enhancement of its international identity and power status, China should and will shoulder greater responsibilities to the global response to climate change. Fei-Yu Li. Chancellor, I present graduates from the Faculty of Law. Keith Mark Jennings. Kim Troyani. Maggie Louise Deneen Munn. Lena Abdul Kadir. Sheridan Lee Billu. Riley Philip Boveng. Edward Michael Delaney. Liliana Eugenie Fracek. Kirsty Marie Humrick. Lisa Sharon Plessius. Jasmine Lee Marie Hanaway. Felicity Isabel Rose. Chantel Zabin Sharma. Gabriella Elizabeth Aloysia Sulio. Ruby Rose Young. Jackie Joe. Grace Sophie Adler. Jack Butler. Dougal Oliver Kane Clark. Sophie Renee Sandra Grujic. Blake Lamb. Lara Nikki Mazbani. Robin Gerard Barnabas Sutcliffe. Hugo Jeffrey Durbin Barry. Tyson John Brazell. Jacob Cookson. Talia Dimich. Recipient of the 2020 John F. Kearney Gold Medal, Olivia Frances English. Giles Stewart Michael Evans Barnes. Emily Linda Goodfellow. Sarah Rose Victoria Johnson. Jessica Rose Osborne. Oceane Pierce. Elijah Sheng Yang Peng. Cameron James Robinson. Charlotte Watson. Kate Lubit. Karanvir Singh Basi. Brittany Jane Marino. Caitlin May Timu. Daniel William Buckham. Harry Yong Chow. Michelle Tricia Daniels. David Ferencevich. Kim Ho. Miad Jamali. Yu Lin. Chloe Woodruff. Ucheng Mei. Maria Clemente. Lisa Middleton. Julieta Agnes Oyidiran. Jessica Shalepi. Gereltsensa Pumbag. Sam Dinley. Marcus John Malouf. Wahid Ayobi. Larissa Karen Perkins. Larissa Alessia Sarah Sutter. Sian Renee Hobel. Chancellor, our valedictorian has been selected to give the valedictory address on behalf of the graduating cohort this afternoon. He has achieved a cumulative percentage average of 87% and a cumulative GPA of 3.77 out of a possible 4. He's achieved first in class on 18 occasions. He was placed on the Vice-Chancellor's list for academic excellence in 11 semesters and was awarded the Morgans Financial Limited Prize for Finance major students. Graduating with the combined degree of Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours and Bachelor of Commerce, Max Nicholson Meyer.
Chancellor, Executive Dean, members of staff, special and distinguished guests, and most importantly, fellow graduates, both here and online. It is with tremendous pride, pleasure and privilege that I stand here today and address you. Earlier this morning, I ventured down from my new home of Brisbane. As I drove up University Drive one final time, it would be fair to say that I did not want the sand in my Bond hourglass to run out. As I made my way to this theatre, where I attended my first class some 4 years ago, I started to reflect on the amazing journey of self-discovery I had been on since that day in 2017. Then it dawned on me. In the lottery of life, we have been placed into a position of extreme privilege to be a part of this diverse and collaborative community that is Bond. I started to ponder the mosaic of personalities that made my time here at Bond so memorable. Everyone from musicians, sports people, artists, aspiring solicitors, barristers, judges, case summary specialists, thinkers, and drinkers. A community that is not so small as to lack diversity, but not so large as to lose its intimacy. A melting pot of culture that leads to a smorgasbord of fond memories that sit deep in my heart, and I'm sure yours. Now, as I look out into the room today, I see many of the individuals that made my time here at Bond the happiest of my life. And I mean that very sincerely. Thank you. But most importantly, I see a group of graduates that have the right combination of natural ability and work ethic that have successfully navigated the rigour of studying a Bond Law degree. I congratulate each and every one of you on your achievements, for the hard work you put towards your degree, and the lifelong friendships that you have forged. Well done. I know there were times when some of us thought we may not make it this far. Personally, I was no more anxious than on the first day of law school, where my professor at the time said, "Take note of those two people sitting beside you, because by the time you graduate, one of those two people will not be by your side." Well, I'm glad to inform you that both Cameron Robinson and Tyson Brazel are here today, degree in hand. So this cohort defied the odds. Congratulations. In my hometown of Adelaide, I commonly get asked, "Why do you study at Bond?" Invariably, my answer is, the people. Difficult to recognise from the outside is the effort that each and every staff member put into providing us with the best university education available in Australia. Bond's academics genuinely care about students' outcomes. This is no best shown than through them providing us with their mobile number or their unparalleled response to the new way of teaching in 2020. Administrators, food staff, cleaners, maintenance staff bend over backwards to provide us with these world-class learning facilities. The librarians are there day and night to provide us with an encyclopedia of research knowledge, or just a much-needed smile when that tsunami in week 13 hits us. The Vice-Chancellor and management know students' names, whilst the Career Development Centre leverage our unrivalled education to unlock doors beyond the confines of these university walls. On behalf of the student body, to each and every member that has contributed towards making Bond University what it is today, thank you. To our families and loved ones, both here and afar, we owe you a debt of gratitude for your unwavering kindness, assistance, and compassion. We were careful with your advice and patient when you provided it. You may not have been here at Bond with us, but without you, we would not be here at Bond. So thank you. It truly is an honour to bid farewell to our time on campus today. This day marks a time of happiness and celebration as we now depart or move on to a more advanced stage of our studies. Today we each leave here with a testament in one hand, and in the other hand, a much greater intangible asset. The consequence of studying at this great institution
whether you are aware yet or not, is that you have been provided the master key to the door of opportunity. A key that is forged by your experiences, way of thinking, knowledge, and professional networks. As you add to these, your key becomes more valuable. You might not yet know what door your key unlocks. It may be a law firm, a courtroom, a boardroom, a government department in Canberra, behind a Bloomberg terminal in Sydney, or right here in academia. However, unlike on-campus accommodation keys, it cannot be lost, but more importantly, it can be used to unlock more than just one door. Your key is merely limited by the constraints that you give it. No lock can prohibit a bond graduate. So, test it, and when using it, don't be limited by pre-existing norms. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. The paradox at Bond is that whilst all our stories are unique, they are also the same. Your chapters may have different titles, pages different numbers, but the genre remains constant. We all share in the same experiences and lessons that Bond offers. Beneath the astute guidance of the academics to my left and in front of me, we have absorbed a large number of invaluable lessons. Attention to detail is time-consuming, yet essential. Precise, plain English communication is critical, but deceptively difficult. And hard work is taxing, but rewarding. Whilst we learnt a number of other lessons with a little less endeavour. Any judgment written prior to 1950 requires a full-time English translator. One can wake up at 10 a.m. on the dot and make a 10:05 a.m. class, or in more recent times, awaken at 10:04 a.m. and attend from the comfort of your bed. A new subject should be chosen if an existing one entails an 8 a.m. Friday morning class. And if you choose to go for a swim in Bond Lake after the few beverages at Don's this afternoon, a hefty financial consequence will follow. But ultimately, we have shared in a wave of common experiences, and today we ride a tide of familiar emotions. We share a bond of Bond that can never be undone. So no matter what door you choose to unlock, your footsteps will always be traced back to this very fine institution. I will conclude by divulging that whilst we have all crafted a master key, I do not know what door I will open. However, armed with a fistful of dreams, membership to a community of alumni that are willing to go above and beyond, and the wisdom of a Bond degree, I know that when I do unlock my door, I'll see some of you there. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Max. That was wonderful. Thank you for your very generous words about the university, its community, its students, my colleagues, both academic and professional. Thank you for pointing out the wonderful improvement in retention rates within the Faculty of Law over the last few years. That's something we've been working on. Thank you for exemplifying the characteristics in students that we try and inculcate within the faculty and within the university. So I think Max, in his articulate and professional address, has shown us exactly what a Bondie looks like. And finally, thank you so much for giving us a valedictory address that I think everybody in the room, or at least all of the students in the room, identified with, and And once again, on behalf of the university, we express our gratitude to you. So thank you, Max. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates. Graduates, I'm delighted to be one of the first to publicly congratulate you on your astonishing achievement. Not only have you managed to successfully complete a program in one of the most academically rigorous disciplines, that of law, you've managed to do so just as the university, the nation and the world were struggling to come to grips with what has turned out to be the great crisis of our time. And while it must seem a lifetime ago to you now, you may recall the faculty's official welcome when you first commenced your law degree. There was an event called ab initio, which of course you now know after studying contract law to be the Latin term for from the beginning. And if you don't know that, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to hand back the piece of paper we just gave you. At ab initio, I delivered an address where I compared the journey through law school with the hero's journey. Now, I'm not going to explain yet again what the hero's journey is, but the point I want to make now is that you are well and truly on that journey. You have faced, over the past few semesters, challenge upon challenge on your hero's journey through law school. And like all good heroes, you didn't give up. In the face of extraordinary, unprecedented adversity, you persevered and you prevailed, and you slew the dragon, you destroyed the ring, you restored the heart of Tafiti, and you finished that damn degree. And here you are. And that's the hero's journey. The hero always prevails in the end. And by the end of the journey, after all the struggles, they've been transformed into a different person, a better person, a person who finally returns home, sometimes metaphorically, sometimes literally, having achieved their mission and committed to using their newfound skills and knowledge and abilities to help others and to heal the community. Just as I hope that you're committed to using the extraordinary qualification that you've just been awarded and the knowledge and skills that you've earned through your hard work over the last few semesters to serve justice, to do what is good and right, and to help others. And make no mistake, the world needs heroic lawyers right now. So your studies have given you a qualification that leads to more than the possibility of a lucrative and rewarding career. The reason why such a disproportionately large number of leaders and reformists, and prime ministers and premiers and governors and presidents are law graduates is because legal training provides the skills, the abilities, the confidence and the resilience that informs great leadership. So when you leave us here with your legal qualification, it's almost inevitable that you're going to rise. You'll rise to a position of leadership within your firm, within your organization, or within your community. And what the world really needs right now, and is going to need in the months and the years to come, are leaders who have the vision and the confidence to make difficult decisions. Decisions informed by credible, reliable evidence, by scholarly research, by disciplined reasoning and critical thinking, and by a commitment to ethics, to fairness and the public good. We need heroic lawyers. We need heroic leaders. We need you. So be heroic. Graduates, please stand. I'm going to be reading out the university charge, and I'm going to ask you if you accept the charge, and then you're going to respond with yes. Now, to make sure we don't respond with a half-hearted yes, we'll just do a quick practice run, okay? So when I count to three, 1, 2, 3, I want you to say yes in a loud, clear, confident voice. So 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay, that's okay. So do that, but double it. Graduates, I charge you as graduates of Bond University, demonstrate at all times the highest moral and ethical standards, to apply your learnings and education to the benefit of society, to pursue the highest standards in all your endeavours with excellence always your aim, and to support forever and enhance the reputation of your university through engagement as proud alumni. Graduates, do you accept that charge? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. You may now be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, that now concludes the formal part of the ceremony. Shortly, the official party, the valedictorian, academics and the graduates will proceed out of the theatre. I ask that you remain seated while the procession leaves the theatre and only exit once the last graduate has left the theatre. You're all invited to join the graduates in Don's Tavern for post-ceremony refreshments. You just need to show your ticket at the door to get admission. Graduates, please stand and join the academic procession. Thank you.